it's Dr. Proximo here with the first official episode of my vlog, the Doc Prox Show. First off, I just want to say that I hate the word vlog, but pretty much only because it's impossible to say without sounding weird.
Vlog.
Let's jump right in with this episode's topic, which is the Doc Prox Show. I should probably talk a bit about me, what this is, and what I want to do with it. I am an aspiring nerdcore rapper. Stay steady, this might get heavy. Just keep your weapon of choice at the ready, and if you see any haters, just flip 'em the bird or bust a flow and get named the wordiest nerd. I also play guitar. As you can tell by posters behind me, I am into Magic the Gathering. I have a small collection of vinyl Funko figures which show the kinds of pop culture stuff I'm into. Dovakin, Alexin los varin, wadain volkul ma ferekasval. I'm gonna wreck it! Raj and Robin, tweed, wheat. And this was my first Funko, Doc Brown and his electrified nipple clamps. Zzz. Oh yeah, Chandra's my homegirl. Fire, 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 fire. Come on baby, light my fire. And this is the only bauble that I have. Bubble, 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 Deadpool. I'm currently stuck in Summerside, Prince Edward Island. I've traveled a bit. I lived in Calgary for 8 years. I visited Montreal and Vancouver. I want to get a tattoo in each city that I visit. This one was done in Summerside. This was my first one. This was in Calgary, and I got this in Montreal. So I've been making little videos for a few years. I made some when I was traveling. The idea was I was going to put all this footage together, and that was going to be my travel vlog. That was the whole plan, was my adventures and whatnot. But I didn't really get enough footage, and I never really bothered to edit it together because it was kind of crappy footage anyway. So it was a waste. But I guess it was practice. I did end up with a handful of nice Vine posts and, Instagram and stuff like that. And there's some half-decent YouTube videos. But nowhere near the type of stuff that I intended. So I keep wanting to make stuff. I mean, like a couple years ago when I was in Calgary, I did a demo for RPM. The RPM challenge, real quick, is this thing every February. People who participate in the RPM challenge do an album. You write and put together an original album just in the month of February. And I hadn't made music for a long time, so I decided I would do that just to get back into it. I did a couple of reaction videos, but both of those suck. Largely because one thing that I need to work on is I have trouble being enthusiastic and animated and real in front of a camera, because there's no one else in the room with me, so I have trouble getting into that conversational tone. So yeah, like I say, I gotta work on that. I've done 2 ERB reactions, and I enjoyed them, but I want to start doing it more regularly if I can. In fact, it is currently Monday as I'm recording this segment, and I'm still waiting for the new battle to drop today. I hope it drops before I go to work so that I can do a quick reaction to it. I want to try doing this weekly, but that might not be realistic. I'm going to aim to do at least 2 a month. One of my goals with both these videos and with my music is I need to practice the software. I need to get more into actually doing it, and tweaking and refining and working on my technique, because I want to get to the point where I can offer some stuff good enough that I feel comfortable opening up like a Patreon page or something like that. Because there's so many things that I want to do with this stuff that I just don't have the resources for. Either the software, the hardware, travel expenses, that sort of thing. especially gadgets. Like, I'm recording this on my iPod Touch because it's the best camera I have. The only other camera I really have is my laptop, and that isn't even HD. I did my first reaction video in that, and I think the only comment, actually let me check it. Yeah, so for my reaction to Julius Caesar versus Shaka Zulu, Andreas Iverson commented 480p in 2015. Well, yeah, it was my laptop webcam, and it's a reaction video. It's not something that needs to be in high def. I mean, I'm now using this iPod camera because it's better and whatnot, but whatever. But enough about that stuff. I'll be putting links in the description to my social media stuff. If you want to hear my music, follow me on Twitter. But let's move on to this episode's music pick. Electric City by Firewater. I used to use Slacker a lot before Spotify got out of its beta phase. And I was listening to a Tom Waits channel once, and this song, Electric City, came up. I had never heard Firewater before. I've heard some of their other music. It's pretty decent. The singer has this worn and wise sound to it, you know, kind of like Tom Waits, but I probably doesn't like the comparison too much. Most people don't. A lot of artists don't like being compared to other artists anyway, but there's certain artists that are so distinct, like Tom Waits or whatever, that singers, I imagine, get sick of being compared to them. But it is what it is. He kind of sounds like Tom Waits. And there's this, I guess you'd call it a controlled chaos to the instrumentation of the song. It's like accepting that we're all going to hell, but let's make a ruckus on our way there. Have some fun. Firewater doesn't seem to have any YouTube presence, but I'll link to the song in various platforms, Spotify, iTunes, whatever, in the description. If you're the type that buys music online, I highly recommend grabbing this track. Okay, and now for this episode's YouTube pick. It is Maleficent versus Daenerys, an episode of Princess Rap Battles by Whitney Avalon. So as you probably figure, I'm a huge fan of epic rap battles. So far the ERB is the only thing I've done reactions to, but for my first YouTube pick, I wanted to shine spotlight on Whitney. So far she's done 7 princess rap battles, and they're all amazing, like pretty much on the same level as ERB. The first one, Elsa vs. Snow White, has one of the best endings I've ever seen in any rap battle, I think. Cinderella vs. Belle has Sarah Michelle Gellar. I think my favorite in the series is Mrs. Claus versus Mary Poppins. The actors are amazing. Whitney's portrayal of Mary and the accent and the contacts, and then Bert dancing around. But the reason I'm directing you towards Maleficent versus Daenerys is they do a twisty twist in the last verse, and it's something that I've never seen in any rap battle. ERB did something kind of like it in season 4, but a totally different way. So that's no spoilers. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Feel the bass come down on me. Yeah.
So there's this video on the Young Turks. I'll link to it in the description. It's about Google. They released a tool to allow you to look at your history. You can look at your search history as far back as they have it stored, and you can delete parts if you want. Well, they were talking about how cool this is and various reasons people would want to use it. Mostly porn, let's be real. They also touched on paranoia that some people have about how much information is being gathered, and it got me thinking about a mini rant I've touched on a few times on Twitter and Facebook and stuff. It's about people overusing the term Orwellian. George Orwell was an author. He wrote 1984 and Animal Farm. Those are his 2 most famous works. A lot of the ideas and philosophies in those books are parroted by people who think that we have Big Brother today, and they use the term Orwellian when they want to present the case that we're actually living in the dystopia shown in the books. But when they use the term so casually, they, 1, don't seem to understand what the word means, or 2, they probably haven't read Orwell, or 3, they ignore the benefits that come along with the various technologies and whatnot that they're objecting to. I honestly don't care what gets tracked. They're being completely transparent about it. They're constantly giving us tools to disable and delete. You know, that we can delete our search histories, we can disable all the different tracking things on our phone. You know, you say, I've got all this stuff on my phone that tracks where I'm going. And every single thing that's on your phone that tracks anything can be disabled. You're allowed to disable it. If they were truly Orwellian, essentially it would be law for your webcam to be on at all times. Essays criticizing the practice wouldn't show up in searches. Think about it for a sec. If these super powerful Orwellian people really wanted to control your mind, then they wouldn't let you be exposed to all the people telling you that they're trying to control your mind. But you hear those people all the time because they're wrong. Doesn't matter if you shoehorn terms like groupthink and Big Brother into current events. You're missing two of the most important, all-encompassing aspects of the Orwellian model. One, you couldn't publicly criticize the establishment. In other words, the Young Turks wouldn't exist. The internet, as it has become, pretty much guarantees that the man will never have complete control over information the way that Big Brother does in the novel. Two, privacy would essentially be outlawed. The fact that I can just close my laptop whenever I want, or I can cover the camera if I'm paranoid about hackers gaining access. Technically possible, but why? All that is completely against the Orwellian model. Seriously, did you read the book? Did you watch the movie? You gotta understand, and this is an important part. This is part of my objection to a lot of the other anti-establishment conspiracy theories. I'm not saying it's not possible for them to abuse their power. It certainly is. I'm saying you haven't proven to me that they always do and or that they always will. That's where the divide comes. I know what they can do. And here's the thing, so do you. It's transparent. Thanks to the internet, we know about all this stuff. That's the thing that you keep missing. And I understand you might be a little bit uncomfortable with the data being collected. Okay, that's fair. It might feel like an invasion of privacy, which I don't really think it is, but whatever. The reason I don't really care about it is twofold. First, maybe I'm boring, because I can't think of anything that they could have access to that I wouldn't want them to. Second is just plain math. Think about the amount of data an average person generates. All the emails and text messages and pictures and stuff, it adds up. You're constantly generating data that you might not even know about. All this stuff that you know exists out there somewhere in the ether for the man to peer at and judge. Think about the manpower it would require to sift through all of that in any comprehensive way. It's not practical. And I know about the ability to search for specific terms, but as I said, I really don't think I have anything to hide. And if by some chance a nifty little algorithm noticed that I sent an email to someone in 2004 that contained the phrase box cutter, I would assume that it would be brought to someone's attention, a person, and that person would realize that I was talking about a gig I was at, and box cutter is the name of a song that the band performed. They would mark it as investigated and move on with their lives. This shit works, and people just keep resisting it because it's different. It's not perfect, of course it isn't, but it's just not as bad as you think. Can you please appreciate what we have instead of finding something to hate? I've got this device that you can hold in your hand and put in your pocket, and it's a phone, it's a calculator, it's a movie studio, it's a video studio, it's a Game Boy, it's an alarm clock, a notepad, and you're paranoid about a weird porn search that you did 3 years ago. Delete it from your history so your girlfriend doesn't find it, and move on with your life. One final note on this, in the Young Turks video that prompted this, when talking about the story, Anna, one of the co-hosts, said that you can search your history for years. And the way that she said for years, I found kind of funny. And it got me thinking about how sometimes I come across an old live journal post or an old web page that I did in the late 90s or something like that. And it's, you know, it's kind of funny to look at your past internet footprint. So I'm thinking for a future segment of the show, I'm going to use that tool to go through my own Google history and see if there's anything amusing or interesting. Okay, now it's time for this episode's featured thing. For this episode, it is a book, How to Ruin Everything by George Watsky. I am a big fan of George Watsky. I have been for a few years. I went to see him in Vancouver, as I mentioned, and I was lucky enough to go to the VIP show before the concert, where he did some of his poetry and shared some stories and stuff, and did a meet and greet, and it was awesome. One of the stories that he told is in this book. It's under the chapter called Tusk. According to the blurb on the back, How to Ruin Everything is a debut essay collection about embracing failure in all of life's most absurd situations. I've read less than half of it so far, but it is absolutely fantastic. Good book to take with you on a trip, that sort of thing. While I'm on the topic of books, I want to talk a little bit about Book Crossing. So Book Crossing is a website. So you grab a book off your bookshelf, you say, you know what, this book is cool, but I don't need to possess this book physically anymore. I would like to pass this book on to someone else. So you go to the website Book Crossing, you put in the ISBN number, and you register that copy of the book to the website. Now it generates a code number for you, and you can print stickers or do it manually or whatever, but you put the code number on the inside front cover of the book, then you leave the book somewhere or give it to someone or whatever, go to the website, make a journal entry saying what you did with the book, and then hopefully whoever reads it next, whoever finds it or receives it from you, will review it, maybe pass it on to someone else, make their own journal entries. So in addition to the stickers for the code numbers, you can also print stuff like this, so that way someone sees the book on a park bench or whatever and it catches their eye. They're like, oh, this isn't lost, someone wanted me to have this. This particular one here, it's pretty cool, The Last Wild Boy. It's by a PEI author, so the next time I travel I'm going to leave it somewhere so that our local authors get spread around a bit more. So I guess I've got enough for this episode. I've got a few other ideas for segments, but I'll save them for the next couple episodes. I just want to get this one finished and get it out there. It's going to be a work in progress. I'll figure it out as I go, figure out which segments work, which ones don't. I'll probably end up with a handful of segments that I do every episode, and then some semi-regular segments that I do when it comes up. So that's it for now. I don't know if I've really reached the point yet where I should start saying this, but subscribe if you want to keep up with my exploits. What the heck, click like. I don't even know if I like it yet, but click like, it'll help. And as I said in the description, I've got links to my social media presence and music links and stuff like that. So until next time, this is Doc Prox saying thanks for watching. See ya.